Hey, Jen.
Hey, Dana. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Hypnosis.
And beyond.
Today, we have the pleasure of speaking to Claudia Rickard. She is a master NLP and hypnotist. She's a Nightingale Memory Consultant and the creator of the Bunny Talk process. Hey, Claudia.
Hi,
Hello.
Claudia.
Hey,
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be on here.
excellent.
Wonderful. Well, today I get the pleasure of asking you what led you to where you are today?
I've always been interested in helping people. It's just, I think it's an innate quality in all of us, probably. And I actually started my journey, goodness, way back when I started became an aromatherapist. And then I thought, oh, I'm really enjoying this mind body thing, because when you choosing people's essential oils for them, you actually have to do an intake form. And then you're like really getting into some meaty stuff. And of course, if you're touching somebody's body, well, hey, we all know how to build rapport then, because it's the perfect way, isn't it? If somebody's going to be relaxed, you touching their naked body, then we know how to build rapport. So that just comes naturally for me. I'm very lucky with that. And then I wanted to do more. So I went down the counselling road, and I did 3 years of my degree with counselling. And then I realised, oh, I have a choice. And oh, this is why I am doing counselling, because I was in an unhappy marriage. Okay, so then I realised I had the choice. So then I went through the divorce and I had to stop that degree. However, it's still in me. And then I found hypnosis. Oh my goodness. All right. My son actually had it for something. And it made a big difference for him. And I thought, well, what is this? So I did the foundation course. Okay. And I was really good at it. And I just couldn't get enough of Elman, Erickson. I was just reading all the stuff, and yeah, I loved it. And I went on to do the diploma, and I'm still like that. It's like, oh, more, more, more. What else? What else? What else? And what's so wonderful is that now I've been on this journey since 2011 with hypnosis, and now I am actually training people with the bunny talk process. How exciting. I have all these certificates all at my wall up here. And it's like, now I am giving certificates.
Love
So
it.
I just, yeah, I know. It's a journey, and I'm thrilled, and it's an honor to share what I know, because I've got all the bits that I know, and I've sort of like done that, and that's what people get. I have no idea if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and it's like super inspiring as well. As far as this bunny talk process goes, I'm partial to bunnies, so I'm even more enthusiastic about this. And
Don't
oh,
judge her.
there you go. We're in the same club. So, just give us an idea of what this whole process is about.
Okay, so do you remember shadow puppets?
Yes.
Okay. So and again, if I see children and they're not aware of shadow puppets, because we move on and people are on tablets, and they don't play the games that we might have done at some point. So I introduce shadow puppets. It's easy enough. You just create a shadow, and I explain the different shadows, and you can do all sorts of things, and then I say, well, I like this one, because this is actually what I did with my daughter. Now, my husband was in the Royal Navy, and he was away for months. Okay. If you know anybody in the military, and especially the Royal Navy, well, actually, I know a lot of military here in America, they're away for years even. But he would be away for like 10 months at a time. And that's hard. Okay. So I have this little one. We do have 4 more together, so he's got 2 and I've got 2. So I'm a parent of 5. And but we've got our little one, and she gets into bed with me in the mornings, and sort of like we're messing about, and then I'm showing her shadows, and then we start doing the bunnies, and we started bunny talk because she started it. This is her game. hello. And I'd go, hello. And then we'd just like mess about. And then I thought, well, how am I going to, this is like, because when playing, it can get a little bit, not boring, but it's like, oh, what else can I do? So I thought, oh, I'll teach you the days of the week, the months of the year. And then we did simple math. And it was just, we went on and on and on, our ABCs, all this stuff. And so it made it sort of like, I don't know, it made it worthwhile if you like. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? But, so we did that. And we did it for years. Okay. I mean, literally years. And it was our little thing. And she'd go to school and we'd do like that. We'd go like that. And it was just very cute. And of course, sometimes I would be the baby bunny and she'd be the teacher bunny. And I would make mistakes on purpose so that she could correct me. And she would go, it's okay, just have another go. And, I never told, she never told me off because I never told her off because we were just playing. And so what I had no idea what I was doing way back then. But you, like me, you know that in NLP is an anchor. And we were anchoring in safety, love, and security. Okay. And she learnt to be kind to other people if they made a mistake because that was what we played. Now, I was actually telling this to Cheryl Ellman as I was learning to become a sleep talk practitioner. And it does get a bit emotional now because I also went on to tell her how I now realized what an important thing it was. Because when we moved to America, my daughter's nearly 13. And then there's COVID. So we moved in 2019. And she has literally sort of like 8 months of school. And then there's 2 years of online. She had no friends anyway. That was awful for her. And she started hurting herself, self-harming. Now, I blamed myself. Our fault, my fault. We brought her over to America because America's my happy place, my place where I grew up when I was a child, and I wanted to come back. And it's my fault because obviously I didn't create COVID. However, one night she comes through to my room. It is New Year's Eve. It's 3:00 in the morning. She comes into my room sobbing. Okay. It's a horrible sob. Okay. It's one of those scary sobs. I got into bed with her and I held her. And I said, can you tell me what it is? And then don't ask me what made me do it. I got my mummy bunny out. And she got her baby bunny out with her little ears down. And she told Mummy Bunny what had been going on for her. And of course, Mummy Bunny never criticised, never said, oh my goodness, why? I would never have said, why didn't you tell me? There was none of that. It was just, okay, what can we do? What can I do to make this better for you? And we figured it out. And about 5:00 in the morning, she said to me, I'm all right now. You can go. So isn't that fantastic?
Incredible.
Because all that time ago, we had created unconditional love, safety, love, security, unconditional love with the bunnies. So she couldn't tell me, but she could bring it out of her, dissociate out of her and tell the bunny. And
Right.
as I say, I was telling Cheryl Ellman this when I was training, and she said, Claudia, you've got to do something with that. And so I did.
Amazing.
I did.
Fantastic.
I wrote an ebook, which is still out there because it's for parents. And I wrote that for parents. And it is, and it's only a short ebook. I made it short on purpose because I know what it's like being a parent. You want it now. Tell me now. I don't want to read all the fluff and guff. Tell me now what I need to do. Give me the grace now. Tell me. So I did. It's 10 best things to even ask each other before you even have a child or when you've got a child, so that, and then you can blame it on me. So, and I've said this to numerous clients who go, oh, but he wouldn't like that conversation. I said, blame it on me. This person says this. I don't care. I've got broad shoulders. And then it's like, and it gives you a lot of grace. You give parents a lot of grace. I was a shouty mum. I made many, many mistakes. I played a lot, though. That is the one thing I did do really well. I play. And that is what I hope that I've been able to impart with everything. Everything is all through play. And there's a lot of that in the book of telling parents how to do something. If you want your child to do something, do it through play. And bless her, my daughter wrote me a poem, so that's in there. And I'm so grateful because she tells me so much now. I mean, you could say she overshares. I don't care. I'm honoured that she does that. Okay, I mean, what a wonderful place to be, that she actually feels she can, and that was all because of that. And then you may know that I'm a Nightingale Dementia Consultant. I'm in the state of North Carolina, so I say memory consultant. And I see people living with dementia because for me, it's all about releasing trauma before anybody goes further down their journey of either as a child through life or as somebody living with dementia on their journey of dementia. For me, it's all about releasing trauma. Now, and I said to her, I said, darling, I said, if I ever get dementia, will you talk to me with the bunnies? Because I may forget you, but I will never forget the feeling of the bunnies. So she knows that, because it is an anchor. And that is very simple. Now, it's interesting because I did speak about my book and I spoke about, how it came about at Hypnothoughts Live. I had a half hour. This was like 3 years ago. I had a half hour speech because first presenters get a half hour or 20, 25 minutes. And I had people coming up to me afterwards and they said, are you going to make this into a course? I said, well, no, because anybody can do it. It's shadow puppets, it's for parents. And they said, okay, well, if you don't, I will. I went, no, it's my story. And I told my daughter, she went, no, mummy, you can't, they can't. And, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute. I see children. And I thought, well, and this is what I do when I do children. I thought, well, I'll just add the bunny into it. And I do eye movements because I've been an IEMT practitioner since 2018. I'm an advanced class technique practitioner. I'm a certified havening practitioner. I've done so many stuff. All right. So much. And I just thought, well, hang on a minute. And then I always like to see the parents, okay, before I work with a child, because we all know that it's not necessarily the child, it's the environment that the parent is creating for the child. And I thought, well, I work with the parents and I do my version of emotional intelligence with them, like I do with actually all of my clients. And I thought, well, I could just train that. And then I thought, well, yes. And then how I work with children. And yeah, great. And it's just like, so I did. And I piloted it in, when was it? 2022, I think, to 12 therapists and not hypnotists, and they loved it and they use it. But they all did say it needs to be 2 days. And I've now, I've been doing it one day. And now I thought, okay, it does. It's 2 days now. Okay.
Amazing.
So we learn, like you say, I am still a work in progress. But it is because there is a lot. For me, it's easy, of course, because I do it and I'm relatively quite quick at catching on to things. Some people process just differently. So it's 2 days.
I love the fact that when you were talking about the bunny, because, parents, they're stressed out. There's so many things to deal with in life. And then an ego state of that bunny and just to let yourself go there to just this playful place. Do you see it as an ego state?
I probably would. I wouldn't call it that. But it probably, you're right, it is. Because if you do a lot with ego states, it's It's just, to me, it's a part. It's a part of them that is, which it's ego states, which is willing to come out and be vulnerable. The beauty of the way I work is I know my daughter told me, but it can be content free. I don't need to hear the story, because because with NLP, I mean, there's a lot of NLP in this, which to anybody is neuro-linguistic programming. And it is, it's like, well, what does that feeling smell like? What does it sound like? What color is it? And of course, I'm drawing around their body, or the parent is drawing around their body. And so we VAKG it basically, and then we do the bunny eye movements, and and then the bunny pulls it out, and it's just like there's a lot to it, but it is still very simple, and it works. It works. And I'll tell you what else, Jennifer and Dana, what we found out was that as I had been showcasing it, because I think that's the best way for people to understand and learn it, because I have no idea who's going to come and be my person, and I know it works. So I have no issue with anybody coming up, because I know it's always going to work. And so showcasing it to me is one of the best things. And when I've done this, people have regressed back into their inner child. And I was at one of the conferences. It was Heartlands, actually, and Larry Garrett was there, and bless him, he was videoing it for me, and we all went, "Oh my gosh!" As this person regressed into her child, and we cleared something massive that she didn't even know she had. She went, "I can't believe that has been there, this big grey thing." And we cleared it, and we all went, "This isn't just for children. This is inner child work." And I have since been doing it with my clients who are coming, who need inner child work, and then I tied it up in hypnosis with inner child work as well. And oh my goodness, it's profound. The change is quite incredible. I'm very lucky. I get a lot of referrals from therapists. So I see therapists, and therapists send me their clients. So they're good clients, and they often, because they've done what they can do, and then I do my bit, and then they go back, because I'm not an American therapist. I'm like a troubleshooter, if you like. That's what I like to say.
Nice.
And it's so amazing too, because you don't have to do a pre-talk telling them, oh, use your imagination. They've already, if we're doing the bunny talk process, they're already there. So you don't have to convince them, right? They're there. So
Yeah, they're there.
you know.
And I bring cuddly toys out, and then we range the, like, which one are you? Because people identify themselves with something. And I've got a whole range of cuddly toys. I brought all the best ones from England, so they're all really nice ones. And so people will find, and then they identify who their mum and dad is, or who their aunts and uncle, or the bad person, or this. So I have spiders, and I have snakes, and I have a plastic camera. And then there's all this, and some people will, it's quite incredible how they play it out. And we're on the floor. And I'm on the floor when I'm with children, and I'm on the floor when I'm with my adult children. And it's funny, Jennifer and Dana, because I was with, I had one adult, and he said, "Well, can we sit back up now?" And I went, "Yeah, fine, of course." Because, we're person-centered, we do what the client wants. And then we would do it, and he went, "No, can we get back on the floor again?"
Nice.
Because he felt more into his, whatever it was for him, into his child. I'm making the assumption there, on the floor. So yeah.
It's really interesting too, because when you think of places like Google, they use like play and imagination to help their employees become more innovative, right? So of course we should be playing with toys when we're trying to be in this learning state of healing. You're there. It's incredible. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. And I love it. And I love training it. And every training is different by the sheer nature of it, because of the people bringing different things. And I always have a different story to tell, because of a different client who's just been in. So it's fantastic. And I've also got with the training, there is a supportive Facebook group where I put pictures of what I've done and maybe some case scenarios, and then I really want people to hone in on the emotional intelligence, as I say, my version of it, a lot of which I got from my mentor, Beryl Comer. And again, that is all on the Facebook group as well, so people can go over it and go over it and go over it. And it's just as effective on Zoom, because of course, people sometimes they can't get to you. Saying that, I wouldn't necessarily see a little person. When I say little person, I mean under 10 on Zoom with it. I just wouldn't. Not yet. I don't know. I'll hold out on that one, because it depends on where they're at with technology. Of course, maybe that's just me having anything about technology, and that's okay. However, because when we are, because I just hold the paper up and we draw, and they draw their own, because they can't draw around their body, but they can draw a gingerbread person, and that's like them. And then they can do it and follow instructions. And then we use their own cuddly toys. Or if you're with an adult, they might want to use, I don't know, say a certain rock or, sage or whatever it is that they are represents them or other people with their issue. We don't know. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. Thank
Amazing. You're a Nightingale Memory Consultant. Did you want to fill us in on?
Okay, so yeah, I've got a course right now that's up and running, and it's so dementia is, people often think that, oh, that's it, dementia, and fear sets in, and anxiety sets in, and the person just becomes really small. Okay, and that's awful. So my job with what I'm training now as well is for us to realize that a person can live well with dementia when they first get their diagnoses. Okay, so again, that's what I'm all about. They've got their first diagnosis, and so that we can help them and release if there are any traumas, help the care partner, which is a much nicer word than caregiver, because there might not well be a caregiver yet. And then we do a lot of brain health coaching. We make the person living with dementia the star of the show, bring them back, if you like. What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? What can they do? And just make them realize that dementia doesn't need to define them. They are a person first. And my sessions when I go to the house to check the house and just see if they're I don't know, because as the journey continues, they may have spatial awareness difficulties, and sometimes, especially in the bathroom, if people have white bathrooms, and then men especially can miss a lot. So it's like, well, you might like to have a coloured ping pong ball in there. And think just exactly what we do with children, or maybe a coloured back wall so that they can differentiate. There's lots of things that we can do, and especially communication skills, because it's not what we say, it's how we say something. Always how we say something. A lot of people might, and I like to help the care partner realize that they are the co-regulator. So if their mood is, oh God, I've got to do this again, and oh gosh, now he's going to be, well, then that sets up for a really rotten day. But if it's like, hello, hey, it's a beautiful day outside and we're going to go on an adventure. But first of all, let's get our breakfast. And shall we have eggs or sausage? Just keep it simple. There's lots of different ways you can do it. And of course, everybody's journey is different. So it's about really getting to understand the family, and really recommending water, because people and even us, if we get lack of water, can get a UTI. Our brain can shrink. We know what it's like if we have a hangover, well, at least I do. And because it's your brain shrunk, and it's like, and then you get cognitive, you're impaired. So it's the same. So it's just like, how much water are they drinking? You just get interested in their what they're eating. So you give recommendations there. I'm not a dietitian. We give recommendations. You might like this, you might like that. Exercise, of course, and then the wonderful thing of learning, because there's neuroplasticity. And yes, in fact, I think over the age, once you're 50, so that's me, definitely, the synapses just start to, get lost. Well, do you know what? We can create new ones. We can. And that is absolutely wonderful. And now, how does the hypnosis help? Well, my mentor, who I worked with, Dr. Daniel Nightingale, he scientifically proved that hypnosis can help dementia. All right? Because when you are in hypnosis, we know we all get REM, rapid eye movement. And when that is happening, we get a shot of acetylcholine, which is a wonderful, healthy thing that we naturally produce to help our neural pathways. So we all have the ability to do that. Now, I'm in the state of North Carolina, and I had to sign an affidavit saying I would not do hypnosis on people living with dementia. I can do it on the caregiver, and I can probably do a guided meditation instead.
Wow, brilliant. I mean,
So,
you've given us so much hope as far as children, better relationships, dealing with trauma. Now we find out that we can actually build neural pathways and help ourselves. After that, that's possible when you get that diagnosis to
yes. So
actually, oh, really?
yes,
Okay.
after the diagnosis, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what we're helping people do is regaining of cognitive abilities. It's called rementia. Tom Kitwood, not me, he coined that phrase, rementia, regaining of cognitive abilities, so that people can be in those first stages for a lot longer. It is very normal for most people in their 70s to start having to be in stage 1, stage 2. Normal forgetfulness, normal. We all have to understand that. And however, if somebody in their 70s is suddenly deciding, I want to do a degree, they'll probably be fine. And it's very interesting. There are no chess players, as in the big ones that are doing it all the time on television and what have you. None of them have got dementia. So I had somebody saying to me they were very worried. They used to be a drug addict, and they worried about the damage they probably did. And I invited them. I said, what would it be like if you, again, we always ask that, what would it be like if you learnt chess? Would you fancy that? He learnt chess, and he and his wife are playing chess.
What I'm curious about is our audience, in hearing all this, is probably interested in something you might suggest that we could incorporate in our own daily lives.
Absolutely. And actually, I got this from Randy Light, my friend Randy Light, and something that I was absolutely fascinated by, and I've shared it with some clients. Okay, so I'll share it with you guys. There was a Japanese scientist, and I always forget his name, Yoshimoto, something like that. Anyway, you can look it up on YouTube. Just put Japanese scientist in, and he loved on some water. Okay, they did this experiment. So they were really lovely to some water, sang to it and gave it lots of love and praise, opera music, love, 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 love. And then they froze it. And then on some other water, they were really mean and nasty to it. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay. And then they froze it. And then they looked at the, with a microscope, the frozen the water that had been loved on. Beautiful, magnificent crystals. Okay, we've all seen snowflakes. And then they looked at the water that they'd been mean and nasty to, and it was mush. We are 70% water. Our brain is 90% water. So I invite everybody to notice how you speak to yourself. Notice what you're listening to. And I will share this with you. I happened to mention this to one of my young clients. He was 2021. And I just told him that. Because I know he was speaking to himself negatively. He came back the following week and he said, do you know what? Thank you. That really had an effect on me. I changed out my music playlist. He was listening to murder music, rap music that was all like, and I don't even want to say the words, but it was like, kill and rape and, and it was like, and I didn't even know it existed. But he told me what it was and I was just like, oh my gosh. And he said, and I changed it out straight away. And the whole week I felt so much better. Wow.
Yeah. Wow is right. That's a really powerful message for all of us. You think about your passive consumption of things, just watching a movie even, right? And some of the dialogue and things that are happening. So it's fascinating to think of it that way. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, we come to our next segment, which is our silly subconscious question. And so we're going to ask you a silly question today, and we just would love to know your answer. Claudia, what is the first concert you went to?
Oh, Tears for Fears.
Oh, nice.
Kurt
Ec-
Smith and Roland Dorsabel. I even got their autographs. I went with my friends and we had a ball. Yeah.
That leads us to our beyond question. So, what is something people may not know about you? Something that lights you up and you just enjoy
Oh,
beyond?
so as you know, I'm very playful, and I was back in when I lived in Ilkley. I was in the school playground, and I noticed there was a lot of sport for boys. And I said, and this is actually quite interesting. I said to one of the ladies on that, we call it Parent Teachers Association, and I said, "There's no sport for girls," and she said, "If you don't like it, do something about it." That's quite profound, isn't it? And I thought, you're right. Because I don't get upset by stuff like that. I just think, yeah, you're right. So I did. And I used to play, actually at boarding school, I used to play lacrosse and I used to coach lacrosse and I used to play netball, but I wasn't going to do lacrosse. So I did netball. And I did. I went on a course. I learnt netball and to become a coach, and I taught children from 11 and under. And we won for 9 years. I taught netball, and we we won all the cups. We won it all because not saying I'm very competitive or anything, but it's but yeah, we had a blast, and those girls they went on and some of them played for our county. And
Fantastic.
and the parents will say that the journey started with you, Claudia. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we've certainly won by being able to spend time with you today. It's been delightful. Where
Yeah.
can people find you? Do you have any trainings coming up that you'd like to tell everybody about?
I do, and it's all on my website. Just go to my website, claudiarickardhypnosis.com, because there's all the other bits in there. Yeah. And my ebook, the whole lot. It's on my website, claudiarickardhypnosis.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so appreciative. And Jen, what do we always say?
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out. Thank you for having me.